Welcome to the Art Lady's home. Today we're making some black bean veggie burgers, and this is for our healthy eating style, plant-based eating. What we're going to do is we're going to be using black beans, and then I have some chopped up vegetables. This is approximately a quarter of a cup of chopped up eggplant and a quarter of a cup in this plastic bag of chopped up red pepper. You can even use a green pepper too. And then what I did was I'm going to be using garlic and herbs, Italian seasoning, or basically this is a garlic powder. And then I have some onion powder I'll sprinkle in. I like adding the powdered form of this to these bean recipes because when you're forming them into burgers, you need a little bit more dry ingredients. I am using some organic all-purpose flour here for helping to absorb the moistures to give it more stability when I'm actually making the burger, because sometimes it can be very sticky or wet when you add the vegetables into your burgers. I want it to be able to hold together so that I can cook the burger in a pan. Once I open up the beans, what I did was I opened up the black beans and then I drained them. I rinsed them in this bowl, drained them really well, and then we mashed them with a potato masher. And black beans tend to be a little bit on the dry side compared to some of the other beans we've made burgers with. So I think this recipe will do really well for a pan, a fry pan. I have yet to grill my veggie burgers, but we will try on the fry pan with this one. But this is what I'm going to be also adding to this, because the can of black beans is approximately 28 grams of protein, and I wanted some more protein in these burgers, so I added one sausage. This is an Italian sausage tofu that I added to this, Italian sausage flavored tofu, so we're going to chop that up really fine too. That one sausage has 30 grams of protein, so we're going to pack this with some protein here for us, for these burgers. And like I said, we'll add the onion salt, and I'll show you how we mix that up in a minute. We just mixed in the vegetables, and now we're going to go ahead and put in the sausage, and then a quarter teaspoon of the onion powder and a quarter teaspoon of the garlic powder. Now you can do your spices according to how much you like. This is mild because that Italian sausage that we're using, that soy-based sausage with the flavorings, that has a lot of seasoning in it as well. Okay, go ahead and add that and mix it together. Sprinkle it over there. Okay, now add your sausage. Slide it in. And then we're going to mix it all up. And then if we need to, we can sprinkle a little bit of flour, but I think this is going to be a nice consistency. It's a tad sticky, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle in a teaspoon at a time of flour and stir it up just so that it's not so sticky. You can see how it's forming a clump, which is good, but I want it to be a little bit not so sticky so we can form our burgers. What we've done is we've set aside a quarter cup of flour, and we're adding a teaspoon, you can do a big chunk teaspoon, and spreading it in, and you can see how it's pretty sticky right now. So we're just lightly mixing it together so that it forms like a dough ball. Dough is a good consistency. It's a very baked bread. You know, so when I pick that up, I don't want that all over my hands. And while we're mixing this up, okay, you can go ahead and put another one in. And while we're mixing this up, I'm going to start the pan, and I'm going to put some olive oil in it. It's better to sprinkle it throughout the whole thing. It kind of works better that way. And we're going to put oil in the pan, just about 2 teaspoons of oil, and get that ready, because this is almost ready here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flour my hands. This is what I found works the best. And I'm going to then scoop up a good sized portion in the palm of my hand. think I want it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to just kind of tap and pat like this into pretty much a ball. And then I'm going to place it on the pan. Okay, and then I have a spatula that I've oiled. So I have it pretty tight here as a ball. And then I'm going to lightly press it down to form the patty. That way my hands don't get all sticky. Now I'm going to do the same. I'm going to re-flour, dump the excess back, and then form it again in my hand, like this. And we like pretty big burgers because we're going to put them on some whole wheat bread. So there's a pretty good size. It's the size of a peach, I'd say. And then I'm going to put it, make sure your edges, like a real hamburger, are put together real good. And then stick it in your oil. And then lightly pat. And that's how we're going to be making the burgers. And I had the oil, the 2 teaspoons of oil in here. I have it on a medium, so it cooks pretty fast. I don't want it to be too thin. It's about a 1/2 inch thick. And we're not going to lose much size because there's no fat in this. And now I'm going to continue making them. I'm going to cook them for a few minutes. I like them real crispy and brown. And then I'm going to flip them over. And when I flip them over, I'm going to use a pretty wide spatula to do that because they kind of break apart a bit. But that's how we end up forming the burgers. And what I did was I let them cook for a few minutes and then flip them over. I like them crispy and crunchy like this. But if you don't like them so browned, you can cook them less. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pop them on some bread and make burgers out of them with some guacamole, and I'll show you what that's going to look like. But it did make 4 burgers. One's a little bit smaller than the other, and one's a little bit bigger, but we're not that picky. And they're about, like I said, 15 grams of protein in each one, so that's a good healthy burger. And there it is in this completed burger sandwich. We use some whole wheat bread, and we put a mountain of baby spinach on, and then we use some bread and butter pickles. Of course, there's no butter in these bread and butter pickles. That's just what they're called. We use some veganaise, some guacamole. My son used jalapenos because he loves the jalapenos on his. And there it is when it's opened. You can see how we put mountains of spinach on for fiber and protein. And it's going to be absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoy making your veggie burgers. Let me know in the comments on how you like it.